As you can see, it's quite a dramatic change in the recovered dashboard, instrument binnacle, and center console now that they're all installed in the car. This video is a quick update of the install of the console and the challenges I met with that, as well as what's up next. Stay tuned. So this is Monday, October 3rd. I spent the bulk of Saturday and Sunday ripping out the seats in my quest to put a new Blaupunkt radio in to replace the tired old radio in the car. I spent the better part of the day, based on Crutchfield's recommendation. Suffice it to say, I'm going to save the stereo for a completely separate video later this week. The reason being, the original factory Blaupunkt amplifier, after hours of troubleshooting, I determined that that was not working, and that needs to be replaced. So in addition to the stereo being replaced, I had to go and buy an amplifier. But for now, big milestone in that the recovered dashboard, instrument binnacle, and center console are all back in. Let me take you through the non-stereo related things I had to do to get the console installed. Just behind my left hand, you see that's the gear shift knob for the automatic transmission. And then just below that is the new Blaupunkt radio. So you can see there's some wiring for the stereo. I won't ruin the details now, but suffice it to say, I'm going a completely different route in the rewiring of the stereo. I'm not going to use the factory harness at all. Watch for the upcoming video. That means these four wires that I'm holding in my hand are no longer going to be used. So not knowing exactly where they go. One of them's ground, one of them's power, a couple of them power. The 928s, like a lot of German cars from this era, use what's known as a common ground for the audio system. So the easiest thing for me to do in the center console area is to just cap these wires off. And that's what you see me doing here. I'm trimming them down to an appropriate length. And then I'm putting on, so once I have them all at that, I basically took shrink tubing. And here I am just putting shrink tubing. I did not show the heat gun here, but I just used the shrink tubing to cap these off so that I don't have to worry about them. Right. This shot shows I'm on the passenger side, and on the left side there are the three things that go into the ashtray. So the yellow and black wire, of these three wires that you see here, there are actually four wires. That grouping of three is for the cigarette lighter. The right one is a yellow and black lead. I believe that's the positive that goes onto the cigarette lighter itself. Brown is always ground. So in this instance, it's two ground wires. And then that's the light for the back of the cigarette tube. You may have seen it in the earlier video. I actually capped off this red lead. That was chewed away. So what you see in this one, what I'm about to work on, is the clock. So if you saw a video from when we pulled the dash in May, I actually tested the clock and it worked. It just needed the wires replaced. So the clock relies on four leads: the red wire, the brown ground wire, and then these two blue leads that come in. And you can see, even though the clip was still good, it was frayed here. So I wanted to cut everything back. And so I'm just pulling away some 38-year-old tape, cutting these all to the appropriate length. And yes, I did check to make sure I still had enough length to get to the console part. I wouldn't go much shorter than this. But in this instance, I just used fresh. Rather than solder, I was just using fresh clips and clipped them in. And my taping isn't the most perfect, but prettiest, but it's going to be behind the console. Once I had those restored, it was a matter of connecting everything. Now, credit to the Porsche engineers. All of these plugs that you see, there's a variety of them that plug into the HVAC system, the central information system, the clock, and the cigarette lighter. All of them use a unique clip. So it was just a matter of playing match game for all of those. The hardest one, though, and you're seeing me struggle right now, is this side thing that goes into the HVAC controller. That was just a bear to get, and I had it screwed down here at first. All right, so after banging my head against the wall and swearing up a storm, I realized if I unscrewed the HVAC controller and the CIS, it would be much easier to plug in. And that's what I'm doing here. And then I could just feed them back through into their slots, screw them in, and it was all, it was a little bit easier. It was much easier than trying to do it with them hard bolted in. So, all right, so once I had the AC controller and CIS in there, it was a matter of plugging in all the wires. This is a shot of me trying to feed through all the stereo components. Here's a side view of the plugging in the power window. That's that new white one. Connector going into the yellow, the wiper going into the wiper. And so those things you're just not thinking ahead. All right, so here I am showing the odometer, and you see the AC light is working. Now I get to work on the air conditioning at some point. You see the clock is working now. I just need to adjust the time right. And the new Blaupunkt is working. Again, I don't have speakers hooked up. I need to get an amplifier. But all the power's there and everything's doing what it should be. And there's a shot of the door window switches, the sunroof, and the wiper. Those are all in their place. They're connected. I'm still using a jumper wire. So I don't really need to use the sunroof or windows. So I can get by with the jumper wire until that part comes in. Got everything back in. Everything seems operational. Right now, electrically, the only thing that I think fog lights are not operating. I can live without that. I do have headlights and the grill lights, the outside grill lights. So I'm cool with that for now. I'll troubleshoot that later. I'm a little concerned that the instrument binnacle is dim. Nick noticed that when they were here last week. He and Robert were here last week, but it was too sunny in the garage to really do anything about it. Now today's a dark, rainy day, and I don't see any change in the light bulb. So I really don't want to pull that instrument binnacle off again if I don't have to. But that's something I can do in January or February if that's truly the case. For now, I'm going to, if I have to, if for some reason I'm driving at night with this, I'll be in Saab mode and I can get by. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up Saab instrument panel. And so, busy week ahead of me. The balance of this afternoon, I'm going to restore the kick panels that fit into the console to hide all the wiring. The original particle board ones are cracked. Some of it's been eaten away, and it just doesn't make any sense to put these torn up ones when I can just take the carpet off and restore those. On Tuesday, I plan to, with the seats out, I plan to thoroughly clean them up and perhaps dye them. We'll see how that goes. But I'd like to get those cleaned up because it's easier while they're out of the car. I pulled those out because I needed to get underneath them for the wiring for the stereo and the amplifier, and it was just a good time to clean out all of the area. And then finally, so kick panels, seats. So the amplifier is due here Wednesday, and so that means Thursday I'll finish the stereo installation and get the seats in. So if all that goes to plan, the car should be ready for a shakedown, a really good shakedown cruise on Thursday. And then the back half of the week is supposed to be much nicer. I want to get the car cleaned up. And then my plan is to drive it to a Concours event for classic Porsches such as this car on Sunday, October 9th at Paul Miller Porsche up near Parsippany, New Jersey. So if you've been following along and want to see the car, I will have it out that day. Anyway, this quick video. I'm going to get back to work, a lot to do. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this quick video, please press the like button, ask any questions you have. And if you haven't done so already, I encourage you to subscribe. We're now over 1,000 subscribers. I'm quite proud of that, but we've got a long way to grow. So thanks for watching. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.